Welcome in the ring, folks, to each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, we're happy that you're here with us. We apologize for the late start. Folks, GECOM has been at this for about 5 years now, since the 2020 general and regional elections, and they are no closer to solving some of the very fundamental problems that they have. What's happening at GECOM? That is a big question. Pace and power. But first, folks, but first, let's open your appetite a little bit, folks, and get right into the opener. We got a couple of things we wanna run at you guys very quick. But let's start here. Folks. Get it out of the way. You know, our sister Amansa Walton is here, resigned from the PNCR, started her own party yesterday. But some folks aren't taking too kindly to that. Critic McDonald, a former colleague in the National Assembly, says she was shocked, she was hurt by Amansa's departure. Take a look, the opener, and take a listen.
Member of Parliament and a colleague of the now resigned Amansa Walton this year, Coretta MacDonald, has expressed disappointment over the decision by Ms. Walton this year to resign from the People's National Congress reform.
That I am very disappointed, because if you were having all of these issues did not pop up yesterday or this morning, Mark. They didn't pop up last week. And if you were having all of these issues, you had several forums to raise them. If you were having all of these issues, why didn't you resign way back then? Why did you wait now?
Dr. Mark Devenish describes himself as a fanatic of cricket.
Each individual player in that team will have a responsibility. Like, for example, the slip fielder has a responsibility to catch the ball if the batsman edge it. The bowler has responsibility to make sure that he bowls the ball on the stumps or bowl to what the captain instructs him to do. And in this cricket team, you'll have an overarching captain who have responsibility for the team. And you will have in that team, you may have some players that may not support the captain.
However, because of the position the captain holds, he said, the players show him that respect. Dr. Devner said that it's the same in politics.
In politics, each individual have their own responsibility. And you'll have a leader of the party. And even if you're not happy with the leader, even if you feel discontented with the leader, you show respect for the leader and you put your best foot forward. The fact is, Amansa has just been in politics for less than one election cycle. How could she want to believe that she could be positioned as president or head of the party?
He said that if Ms. Walton this year had just waited her time, that time would have come.
So if Amansa had waited her time, go into the community, speak with the people, relate to her constituents, go in parliament, debate issues, and play her best, at some point in time, she would have actually become leader of the party, but she was very impatient.
The fact that she has formed her own political party hasn't escaped notice.
But Ghana's election is binary. Ghana election is binary, PNC and PPP. You could have 1,001 small parties. People don't vote for them. Amansa, you wouldn't get 4,000 votes. You wouldn't have a seat in parliament. So you literally walked away from a seat.
Yep. That's on that front, folks. In case you're now joining us, that was the opener. That was the signpost. We have just begun, folks. Share the live, smash the emoji button, folks. We're following some things happening locally. Again, you would not believe GECOM had 5 long years to prepare for these elections and to come out looking nice. But not them boys at all. Yep. So today, political parties and other stakeholders met with GECOM to answer, to put pertinent questions to GECOM and have those questions answered. That was the aim of the exercise. Now them boys, y'all think GECOM easy? Y'all gonna learn. You're gonna learn, but GECOM, 5 years later, they're no closer to solving some of these problems, folks. 5 long years later. Take what I tell you. Somewhat we're tracking, folks. This is what it's all about. General and regional elections 2025. This is what it is all about, good folks. This is what's going down. Share the damn live for us. Smash that emoji button, good folks. Come, let me go down the road a little bit. Come, let me go down the road. And just because I'm just reminded, we don't run on water. Y'all don't come around we funny. Y'all know we need y'all help. You know, we're not gonna play with big. We need y'all help to get from point A to point B. So please and thank you. You can see a link flitting by you. Don't pretend you don't see it. Don't pretend you don't see it, folks. You click on that link and it takes you to Never Never Land. You can contribute to our program and be part of moving us forward. Pace and power. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well. General Regional Elections 2025. It is what it is all about, folks. Pace and power. Share, 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 share. Yep. Folks, 5 years later, and we were appalled to hear some of the comments that came out of some of the political parties as they exited GECOM this afternoon after that very important stakeholder meetings. We were appalled. We were taken aback and to the back by some of the commentary. Good God, I told you folks, mischief is afoot. We have seen a number of sudden changes at GECOM. Registration form, claims and objection period, claim and objection hour. You've seen so many things changing overnight. You wake up and there's a new addition at GECOM. They're changing legislation, changing this, changing that, changing the terror, changing the other folks. And 5 long years later, we are no closer to alleviating some problems that we have had with GECOM. Check this out. You remember we had an election in 2020? Just in case you have forgotten, let me remind y'all. Let me refresh your memory. Y'all know us big people gotta stick together. Y'all know us big people gotta stick together. I hope you're thinking y'all can go by labor. You got the mentality there and the like call for that one. The one good foot. We gotta stick together. Observer missions reported a great many things in 2020, but this government here, this installed regime, this take some and left the rest. Take some that suit them and leave the others. I want to walk you through very quickly. I'm going to lightning speed, knowing that we started late and his pace and his power. Look some of what was said. Some of the general observation, right? For GECOM, okay, you had so many observer missions. You had the EU, you had Commonwealth, you had Crisis Center, and each of them, folks, gave recommendations. Each of them, and they gave observations. They had some challenges with how the tabulation, the results are done. They made recommendations there. They had some challenges with how the statement of polls get back to GECOM. They made some recommendations there. Nothing was touched. Nothing. The role of the deputy returning officers, the DRO, accessibility to polling stations, none of that was touched. They had some concerns about citizen observers. You remember your girl Roslinda? Swift girl, you remember they had some trouble with that. They had some trouble with certain delays, as I tell you, in tabulation and SOPs getting from point A to point B. A lack of transparency and information. None of this was touched at GECOM. We've been watching. Electoral reform in several areas were recommended. None of it was touched. GECOM and the government went their own business and did their own things. They asked for, this is the observer missions, international, clear written procedures, and timely publication of results. None of that was touched. Engagement with stakeholders, voter registration, political finance regulation. None of that was touched. Good folks, none. Zero, zilch, nada, none. And a whole plethora of other recommendations concerning, as I said, the role of the DRO, inclusion of people with disabilities, and the list goes on. We could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Could you believe that? The people who accuse others, these are the real sanctimonious gangsters. They are the real sanctimonious gangsters, brothers and sisters. We got to watch them. I keep telling you what you see in broad daylight. Don't take lumpstick. Please and thank you. Go look for it nighttime. Don't do it. Don't do it, or you're going to be in trouble. you are going to be in some serious trouble. So like I said, like I told you folks, you have this engagement at GECOM this afternoon, and my, oh my, you think them boys easy? Brace it over. Here's what some of the stakeholders said. Just today, after that engagement with GECOM, you're going to share the life, or we play around tonight? We can smash that emoji button, good folks, or we play around tonight. Take a look and take a listen. Please and thanks. Take a look. Nigel London.
That alone speaks to the fact that GECOM is unprepared to hold or conduct the general and regional elections, because should there be 28 parties, as you have heard, seeking to have 10 of them, let's say, we want to have a joint arrangement, GECOM cannot at this point say to us that they intend to have this addressed, most with the legal framework being applied and being adhered to. It's unfortunate, and it's clearly a sign that they're totally unprepared for these elections to be held.
Any other concern besides that of the arrangement for joining the parties?
Yeah, Mike, one concern is the extension of the extended period of time to have symbols approved. 20 days. They're saying it will take for them to approve symbols. Of course, paraphernalia would be needed. For example, if they were to tell me on the 1st of July that this symbol is unaccepted, then I have to head to the printeries, try to change the symbol of some sort. And how then would we have paraphernalia in Guyana in time to have our elections campaign held? So it seems to be as though GECOM has been constructed to have two parties that are called major parties contest every election, while any other seeking to enter will have to either be subsumed in those or just do not participate.
Thank you. There you had Nigel London of the People's Movement on his take on the meeting.
Yep. That's some of what Nigel London said. Now, you can add that to the list of red flags that we've been identifying over the last few days. All of these changes to the nomination form, changes to the time people have available for the registration, the claims and objection period. You can put that on it. The fact that the fighting that the prisoners cannot vote. Prisoners cannot vote. They have a constitutional right, a legal right to vote, and suddenly GECOM doesn't have the mechanism in place. Folks, you all see what's happening here. Where you're seeing broad daylight, brothers and sisters, don't take a lamp stick to go and look for it nighttime. Don't do it, or you are going to be so sorely disappointed. So you heard Nigel London articulate there lots of the issues that are still unresolved, and you heard also lots of the recommendations that the EU, the European Union, you had the Commonwealth, you also had what's the other one? Lots of these bodies, the Carter Center, you had the OAS, also you had CARICOM, all who had recommendations that we pulled together there on how we could improve the system. Folks, why are we here 2 months and days outside of perhaps the mother of all election, or at least a big child, of all elections in this country? Why are we here with a plethora of issues? This seems very deliberate, doesn't it? What say you, Wenda, Paulette, Wendy, Linda, Joyce, Orwindon, John, Dolly Anderson? I want to hear your voice. What do you folks say about these issues? Share the damn live, folks. Smash that emoji button, please, and thank you. And let me go down the road. We got to go down the road a little bit. You think that those are the only issues that are on the ballot? You all think those are the only issues on the ballot? You all remember biometrics and so on? The PPP themselves in 2015, just after they had lost the 2015 election bigly. And you all think these days can't come again? Prior to 2015, you had in the naysayers about the APNU, about the PNCR, or they're out. They counted out. You see, 1, 2, 3, you're out. You see, people counted out the coalition in 2015. But what we did then, good folks, I tell you all, if we hold a focus, don't get distracted by big balls, people. Don't get distracted by birdness, people. Did I say that? Sometimes the brain thinking faster, sometimes the mouth going faster. Yeah. Reasons, folks. The PPP raised in 2015, why they couldn't have enhanced biometrics in elections. My God, or rather, why they wanted it. Why they wanted it in 2015. By 2020, by 2025, they forget all of that. But I hope some PvP people watching, because y'all is hypocrites, especially the ones in Freedom House. Some hypocrites. It's not all PvP people. You got some decent PvP people who fed up and they can vote up new coalition. I know you got some decent ones, many of them. But you see the set at Freedom House, my God. You see the set at Freedom House, I so fed up with them. We got to flush them out. This election here, we flush it out. We clean the house at Freedom House. Right? Getting rid of this shine head, big head one. First thing, please and thank you. First thing, he got an orange suit. He pull out the color nice. He got an orange suit, can pick up the color real nice. You think easy? Let me walk you through some of the things in biometric that Jagdeo Barack Jagdeo was asking for in those elections himself. I want to show you a couple of them. Let's pull out a couple of them quick for y'all. Enhanced biometrics they were calling for in 2015. Y'all forget these things? But I get memory like elephant. Please and thank you. Let me go down the road. Look sorry here now. To prevent unlawful voting, Jagdeo highlighted cases including in Victoria, where presiding officers, he said, were allowed individuals to vote despite not being eligible. So he himself recognized he had some kinks in the system. Look story now. He noted that polling agents, especially in hostile areas, were often afraid to object to illegal voting. So the system can be infiltrated. The system can be infiltrated. That is what he saw in 2015, is what they implemented. This is what they implemented. and every one of these issues still permeate GECOM even now. The wicked, stink, and dirty. Wicked, stink, and dirty. Each and every one of these issues still permeate GECOM on to now. 5 years later, folks, what's happening in this country? There should be massive protests at GECOM. There should be massive protests at GECOM. 5 years, same nonsense. Different day, same nonsense. Please and thank you. Same nonsense. And I was walking you through several things that the PPP administration called for in 2015. Several issues that they called for enhanced biometrics. And you can go through the plethora of them because the wicked, stink, and dirty folk. But don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Please and thanks. Don't take our word for it. Right? Don't take my word for it. We do our homework here, you know. We do our homework here. Here, sir.
We need enhanced biometrics. Because when some presiding officers said, like we had some cases in Victoria, this is Mr. X, just looking at the photo, and the polling agent from the party sits across the room or is in a hostile area, is afraid to object. They allowed a number of people to vote who should not have voted. But if you have biometrics, enhanced biometrics outside of just a photo ID, it could minimize that happening. We are going to push for electronic voting. Now, you have a system where you can do both. You can vote in the machine, and then it gives you, when you finish voting with the machine with enhanced biometrics, it emits a small paper which shows a ballot, which shows how you voted, which you can then, like some systems have this method, which you can then put in the ballot box. So you have both systems. You can only access the voting through enhanced biometrics, like an iris scan, but you safeguard against presiding officers or anyone else acting capriciously and giving extra ballots out to people. But it's a dual system. It's both electronic and manual. That is paper trail.
Yes.
So we are going to be pushing for that. We have to ensure a fair system of hiring in GECOM, a fair system of hiring people, and that people who are affiliated with political parties do not work in GECOM, who have been openly partisan.
Yeah. So we got to send home Claudette. We got to send home Vishnu Prasad. We got to send home folks, Anil Giddings. We got to send home a whole bunch of them because they have become politically affiliated. That 5 years later, some of these same problems that affected the last elections still staring us in the face. There should be massive protests at GECOM. Claudette must go. Massive protests at all of the houses of the ministers. Massive protests in Paddoville 4 where Jagdio live. Massive protests. Come downstairs, Jagdio. Come downstairs. Come downstairs. Come downstairs. Massive protests, folks. This is nonsense. That is why 5 years later, we are still permeated with some of the same issues. Massive protests. I said, Jagdio, come downstairs. Come downstairs. Protest them at every turn. Please and thank you. Listen to one of the other stakeholders just today, folks. Just today. Melissa Jonas, Farida Bacchus. They're running, you know. They're running from the people of this country. They better come downstairs. Christopher Chichester, Rastaman, Dolly Anderson, KP, Homi, and all the others. Listen to another one of our stakeholders leaving GECOM today, leaving that stakeholder engagement at GECOM today, and listen to some of what this stakeholder said. You may or may not know this stakeholder. My friends from the Alliance for Change, my sisters from the Alliance for Change, confused.
Zero confidence. Zero. They're absolutely not
for the
ready.
elections. They're not. If you have smaller parties that are very interested in joining, and you've had this as a burning issue for over 2 years, and you've come to a briefing and you cannot answer a fundamental question, that tells you the level of preparedness that GECOM has.
Would you call for the elections to be pushed back?
Of course.
GECOM should do the honorable thing. They're absolutely not ready. Or unless there is a definite plot to keep small parties out of the elections.
Or no, they are able to dictate who takes the seat.
You know, so
About the journalists that they gave.
Sorry, folks, we're just trying to get a lot of the reactions from some of the persons coming out of the meeting.
The Elections Commission have a free and fair election, free from political interference, and every vote counts. So we hope they do their job and we have a election.
What were some of the issues you raised?
What's that?
What some of the issues you raised?
Well, issues, the number of nominators, ensure it's correct. What about if there's someone who name is deleted? How do we address that? That's about it. It was really very informative. Mr. Giddings did a really great job in laying out the time frame and everything else for the election.
I have one party here saying that they're not confident in the Guyana Elections Commission preparation to hold the election, and in fact they're calling for it to be pushed back. Given your own interaction with GECOM, is that also your takeaway?
We didn't see that as was reported there, because I think Mr. Giddings has did a good job in laying out
isn't ready for this election, and it places the small parties at a terrible disadvantage. This is not what we had expected, and I hope that GECOM can do something to rectify many of those problems.
We're trying to get as many reactions as possible from some of the political parties.
Yeah, we want to thank Prime News for that. Nazima Ragobert, the legendary, the iconic Nazima Ragobert, folks, on the beat as per normal and helping us with the valid and credible information. I want to say big thank you for the folks on that side. This is what it's all about, folks. This is where we are, This is where we did general elections 2025. Who got a chance prepared to share them? I hear ministers packing up, packing up, starting subtly, packing up things, tucking away this, moving photographs, this, bring the family photograph, the side chickens and the Spanish girls and put on the table and so on. Moving out stuff. This is what it's all about. And you heard Dr. Sugrim there earlier talking about their observations from Team Mohammed. From Team Mohammed, good folks. My God. Nice time in this thing, Nice time. Please and thank you. This thing heating up. This thing heating up. And yesterday was the signal that the campaign now start. I'm talking about the last events of yesterday. It's a signal that the party now start, folks. The election is now getting warm. Team Mohammed today, rather I should say, it was revealed Team Mohammed's party name and slogan, win. I like it. You're going right for the juggler. You know what these people are about. You know what the aim is. We out here to play. That's what my team believes as well. We ain't come to play. We in this business too long. You see, I better come up to scratch, Come up to scratch. And then we learned also that the symbol for win, which is we invest in nationhood, the symbol for win is a jaguar. The jaguar, folks. Yeah. So this man couldn't be part of PP. They're like cats over there. Jaguar is one of the cats in the upper echelons of the feline family. Win. I like it. Right to the point. It gives you a punch. And I've been seeing the PPP trying all kinds of things. Vindia run out with some nonsense, talking about some WINN program thing women in, and somebody else gets something, and somebody else gets something. And they said this fella's not a threat to them. They don't care what he do, what he say, where he goes. Same people. Same people, folks. You can't take them seriously, But look, APNU, Coalition, Chief Scrutineer, Carol Smith Joseph. Y'all know we the extra. You all know we little extra, folks. We little extra. All right, we plenty extra. Carol was asked her impression of things. And you know, seasoned people don't miss a beat, you know. When people season, bring the question, pop, 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 pop. Just like that. Don't come around with funny. You're sharing like Chief Scrutineer for the APNU Coalition, Carol Smith Joseph. She was asked. I can't do it justice. Take a look and take a listen.
The meeting today with GECOM, give us an understanding of what was discussed.
Well, basically what happened there this afternoon is that GECOM reminded us of what are the requirements for nomination. So we listened, it was very informative, and now we get ready to enter the race.
Has your party met those requirements?
Of course, this is the mighty PNC along with other parties. We are always ready.
No other issues were raised from your end about preparedness, some of the other issues we've heard about getting ready for nomination day and so on?
Well, basically, at this forum, no, we didn't say anything. We listened to the presentation by the Deputy Chief Elections Officer. But we have voiced our concerns to our commissioners on a weekly basis. They will inform the commission of how we feel. But we are pressing on in terms of our preparation and readiness for the 1st of September.
Are you ready for nomination day?
Of course, I'm ready today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Peace and power. I want y'all know we ready today. Don't come around with funny. We ready today. Bring it on. Christopher Chichester. Deborah Pearson. Shamela. Shamela, you ready, girl? You clean your boots. You tie your laces. Quadamingo. We ready today. Don't come around with funny. Mighty PNC and other parties. I need a lot of part. Lending my energies for this September 1st, 2025 victory. You know, folks, I keep hearing some folks still talking about coalition and this and that and so on. people done their way ahead now. You know, we got to come up this citation. I have every belief. I have every belief. I say this, and I don't say it lightly. I have every belief that the AFC folks at heart, the party at the base, is a coalition party. And they're going to vote for the APNU coalition. That's why I'm lending my energies here. I have every belief. You got PPP supporters fed up, locked out of the largest of the PPP, locked out of the system. They are not part of the haves, they're part of the have-not. They're going to vote coalition. Folks, we're fed up and we're tired of the PPP. And that is why there's that buoyancy there that you heard in Carol Smith Joseph. Of course, we're ready for them. Don't come around with funny. Don't do it. Don't do it, folks. I hope you are ready. You are going to get registered. You got your ID card. You got some form of ID. You check if your name on the list. We're going to put that link on our Facebook page so that you guys can go and check. You know, this thing requires a lot of responsibility. Don't wait for no neighbor check for you. You check for yourself. And very soon you'll see some numbers publishing that you can call it, you can WhatsApp, and there'll be some folks to help you and so on. Folks, the thing coming up, you know, rolling out. I was so privileged today to see Christopher Jones, you know, say that this thing here, folks, it's now getting started. You know, on your marks, get set, folks. Right? And I trying to keep my poker face. I'm telling you. Right? Hearts will be broken. Tears, a lot of tears going to shed, folks. But that buoyancy you see there in Carol Smith Joseph is the same buoyancy that permeates the APNU coalition. And I hope you all set. I hope you all set. Because you know you can't take the PPP serious. You can't take them seriously at all. And I want to borrow this from my sister that's Primus. Soon as I woke up this morning, and I come in the blow up, she said, how you can take them serious? How you can take them serious? Hold a focus. Stay focused in this process. Over the last 24 hours, perhaps 72 hours, you had a big news down on Facebook. It seemed that sheriff against Birdness and Birdness against dancing and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh yes, I take them serious. Right? I take them serious. You pull them in and say, stop this nonsense. Criticism giving you $600 million and $1 billion contract for you to take in this party, looking bad, dancing, pull yourself together. That's what we heard transpire. Pull him for fitness, stop this nonsense. You're gonna be looking thin. The people got to be who they be, Jagdio. The people got to be who the people is, who they are. Right? See, I'll be distracted. Distractions, folks. Distractions. We got to update this board. We got to update the dashboard to include Amansa. I don't know what Glenlal is doing. He hasn't stated. Perhaps he's coming with a blitz. Perhaps he's going to throw his support behind one of the folks on the board. But this is, folks, we got to add Amansa there. And then you got some other folks. They tell us 28 parties are running. Right? Folks, in 2020, that was 92. They had about 92. Get them 3 weeks after election. You'd only see 3 or 4. 28. I mean, it augurs well for your democratic renewal process. It augurs well for your democratic renewal process. We got to update this to include our sister Amansa there. Right? But we tend to go with the major ones. We tend to go with the major ones for now. We try to push in some of the new ones here too. And we're going to try to improve it to include some of the others. 28. We're going to give it 10 more graphics like this. 10 more graphics like this one, folks. This is where it's at. And this is where we can leave it tonight until we see you a little later on in the evening when we have a nightcap with you folks. When we have a nightcap with y'all. But the close-up, before we lay out, the close-up. Can't let y'all go without, giving you a little wash down. Don't do it. We're not unkind. We are not unkind. Also, was telling Priya Manikchan, Priya, watch them boys. You see when Shah Mohammed is telling people there's some ungrateful pestilence, a lot of people laugh the man. Now they're seeing it. Right? You see when dogs get rabies, they don't care who's friend or foe, When dogs get rabies, they come lashing, they come snapping. You just got to put them down. In some instances, most, you got to put them down. Paul Slow got some advice for the Minister of Education, Priya Manikchan, the closer.
Education Minister Priya Manikchan and Michael Rodriguez became embroiled in a war of words. The clash stemmed from the minister's comment over the decision by Magistrate Judy Latchman to remand the social media singer named Baby Skello. As retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow recalled, Rodriguez went on an expletive tirade against Manikchan.
The Guyanese critic on his social media talk show on Monday morning lashed out at Manikchan, hurling a number of expletives and names in our direction. However, he was criticized by many of his viewers across social media yesterday. Today, Education Minister said Guyanese critic is a bully.
Minister Manikchan had condemned the remanding of the man called Baby Skello. In her response to Rodriguez's call Guyanese critic, she noted,
the Guyanese critic tried to twist what I said in his style. It is what he does. He is not a journalist. He is not credible. I would not bother too much with him, but I would say this. He is a bully, and there are very many bullies like that in our souls and across the country. And to the girls and women who have to put up with with bullies like that, I say, defend yourself and deal with them.
In her response, according to Slow, Manichan said that critics shouldn't be tolerated. She said that the attacks against her were vulgar and abusive.
Court, all of that makes it a crime against the state under the cybercrime legislation. So if I'm to pick myself up and go to the cybercrime unit and make a complaint, he most likely would be charged.
According to Slow, she said that if charged, Rodriguez may likely be fined. However, if he's remanded, and as is in the case of Baby Skello, she would consider the decision accepted. Slow has a word of advice to the minister.
Priya, be careful, because if your boss, Jack Dio, hear you saying that critic is not a journalist, you might get yourself in trouble. Because this sure, as we would say in Ghana, dead sure, tomorrow, when Tantimore blaze off, critic is likely to be there if he's in the country. So you saying that the vice president got entertained a non-journalist at his so-called press conference, Priya, be careful.
Well, we know how that ended. The journalist, the so-called journalist, the fake journalist, the fraud journalist was at the press conference. Let us leave it there for tonight, folks. That's our time. 3,300 of you on the live tonight. That's our time this evening. And that's our program. Stay safe, folks. Thanks for joining us. Jillian and Charlene and Yvette and Mark and Magnell, Michael, Shamila, Koana. Thanks for joining us. Everil and Deborah. Christopher to Chester on the live tonight. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're privileged to have all of you there. Sequibban is here, and Grace and Dolly and Maxine and Bella and Joy, Carol, Afua, Bandy, Joel. Good to have all of you. Yvette, Commissioner Cole on the live tonight. Paul Court is on the live as well. Pace and power, folks. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.